be selfless and so analyze himself so much harsher than all these other guys that are, he even will admit, that are far more talented than him, that actually makes him usurp them and their talent in production and results. Does that make sense?
It does. I actually have a good comparison. I think a lot of times, a lot of fans think of Tom Brady the wrong way for some reason. They think of Peyton Manning a completely different way. And I think how NFL should think about Tom Brady is like probably 90% of Peyton Manning's brain, but much better arm talent. So he's not as smart as a line of scrimmage. It's probably arguable. A lot of people say he's better, but I'd probably give him 90%. So he's just basically a quarterback brainiac, and I don't think he gets the credit for just being a brainiac because it's just what he is, and he's just kind of like Peyton Manning.
Well, I think
Well,
he's
you know what?
undersold in that aspect. I think you don't be able to change game plans week in and week out. That's essentially can be a completely different system than you ran like that. Like that's even Peyton Manning had to go and take over the Broncos and run his system. So I believe that maybe you're underselling his ability and his brain power there, because I think that's a lot more difficult than all these other great quarterbacks have to work with. The keeping up with what Belichick wants to do. This week we're running zone stretch and this West Coast scheme, and this week we're going to run power and this, and it's different footwork, it's different timing, different featured receivers. I think when I look at it like that, again, taking my Packer fandom out, I believe that's a little more difficult if we're going to argue for on the Patriots side of this. That's more difficult than what Peyton had to do, because Peyton was like LeBron in that aspect. He went, and Favre was the same way. Where they went, the system that they ran had to be catered to them and what they did and already knew. And Brady has proven over a long stretch of time that he can keep up with whatever Belichick wants to throw at him game plan-wise.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know what, though? We're going to get on some topics that I wanted to bring up, Brycen. And I wanted to talk about some camp topics that's been going on. And right off the bat, I got to come out and ask that. I've been following Patriots camp, and I've been seeing some names pop up. But I want to know who you see as the most Patriots hidden secret weapon this year that they got, that they are planning on like using, that no one's heard of, or like a old timer that's like about to retire and Belichick's going to use them somehow.
Okay, well, on defense, I'm going to say Jamie Collins. He's back. He's a beast. He's going to be a beast again this year. 2014 form Jamie Collins is back. That's on the defense. He's been looking great at camp. Super fast, rolling with the ones. They love him there. He's on punt team, which means a lot for Belichick. That means he's really important to the team. And as for offense, you guys have probably heard of him by now, but Jacoby Myers. He played quarterback in college. His feet are amazing. You've probably seen the videos. He has incredible feet. He might be just a little taller than Julian Edelman. His feet are great. I love him, and I think if he gets a chance in the offense, he's going to just make plays, because that's what he was doing all week against the Titans, against Malcolm Butler, Logan Ryan, Adoree Jackson, those guys, all their good safeties. He was just getting open, and it's just insane. But that's another little weapon that might be there.
Well, okay. So there's one guy I've been also seeing, in other words, Maurice Morris. There's a guy I've been paying attention to, and he's been putting together a little solid camp too.
Yeah, Maurice got hurt recently.
I did not see that.
Yeah, they wanted to trade for Maurice Harris last year, so actually good call right there. They've been wanting Maurice Harris for a long time. They just tendered him. They got him. They picked him up. And he was doing really well, and then he kind of got nicked up and hasn't been playing as well. And Barrios and all the other guys have kind of been playing a little bit better. So I think these last couple weeks, now that Josh Gordon's back and Demaryius Thomas is off pup, is going to be really big. If he doesn't play well, he's probably not going to be on the team. But if he does, he probably will, because he was consistent before that.
Now, that is something that I brought up in NFL News earlier that is huge for the Patriots team, and it's like Tom Brady at a kid in a candy store. You get Julian Edelman back off the pup list, and then you get Demaryius Thomas, which I didn't think he was going to play this year. He tore his Achilles late in the season last year, Brycen. I couldn't believe how quick he's back on the field. The thing is his body, like, does he look good? Is his body going to be able to do it?
Yes, he looks good. He's been in good spirits at practice. He's been looking good on the sideline. He's been running for a good while now. He was just, I guess he's just one of those freaks. I think what we forget about Demaryius Thomas was he was actually just a physical freak, and he's really not that old. He just had a couple bad injuries, and now he's on the Patriots, and he's at worst their number 3 receiver. So he can be out there with Josh Gordon and Julian Edelman and draw the third, maybe fourth corner, and maybe the third, fourth most attention on the team and just ball out. I'm really excited for him.
Now, what about N'Keal Harry? I was hyped up for this dude going to the Patriots, and then it's just been like I saw he had a couple catches in preseason, but like there's been nothing raving about him, and I loved him out of college.
Yeah, we love N'Keal Harry. I don't let anyone slander our dear N'Keal Harry. I can't. He actually got hurt in preseason. He's not going to play till week 1, which is actually a good thing. He's got like a calf or a hamstring injury, kind of nagging for wide receivers. But I thought he looked good. He's kind of struggling sometimes in camp to get open, but of course he kind of did in college too. And also going up against Stephon Gilmore is probably the best corner in the NFL. Is kind of tough. I think N'Keal Harry by the end of the year, he'll kind of do the Malcolm Mitchell thing. He'll struggle at times, and then by playoff time, he'll be in a solid third, fourth option role, and he'll be very good, and he'll be good in the red zone too. And Brady already loves him. Like, Brady has been posting pictures of him on Instagram and stuff, and like Brady only does that with Josh Gordon and Julian Edelman. He does that with no one else.
Oh, so he's in the little VIP club.
N'Keal Harry's in the VIP club. Yep.
I mean, his size and his build and the size of his hands too. Like, it almost when I saw the Patriots pick him in the draft, I'm like how does a guy like that fall to the Patriots in the first round of all teams where everyone's like, oh, Brady's losing weapons, boom, N'Keal Harry, and then now, boom, Edelman's back, boom, Thomas is back, and now you're getting Jacoby Myers that's showing out. Like, it's a kid in a candy store. Brady is going to have so many weapons this year. It's stupid. And now everyone that's said over the offseason was, oh, yeah, it might be the year Brady falls. You know what? He doesn't need to come out and be Superman. He has one of the best running attacks in the Patriots, now has weapons galore in the wide receiver game, and has an underrated tight end when he comes off his suspension in Ben Watson. Ben Watson plays really well with Brady.
Yeah, Ben Watson looking good in camp too, actually looking pretty young. But the last thing on N'Keal Harry, he's going to start out a little bit slow probably, I would say. So he's going to really just ease into his role. There'll be some mishaps at the beginning, I'm sure. There always are. Maybe it kind of feels like Myers is a little ahead of Harry right now because he's hurt, and Myers has just been playing really well within the offense.
Yeah.
As for the Patriots offense, and I hate to tell you guys this, and I hate to tell the rest of the NFL fans this, but Tom Brady was shredding the Titans defense, which is a really good defense, with a kid named Gunnar O, not going to say his last name, Gunnar O, Dontrell Inman, and 5'7" Braxton Berrios, and was absolutely tearing up the Titans. Brady looks better than ever, guys, and that might be an underrated thing, but Tom Brady looks better, and I think Tom Brady's going to have a better stats year too. I know that makes you sick, but he looks really good.
So I saw the losses in free agency, and like with Nate Solder leaving, I mean, is that going to be a big hit, or are you guys going to use the guy you got from Georgia last year? Is he on track to replace him?
Oh yes, I love Isaiah Wynn. That's the Patriots' new left tackle. He has amazing feet, A+ feet. He's going to be really good. He probably would have been their starting left tackle last year. I think he's a better player than Trent Brown. Trent Brown's he's good, but the Patriots have Dante Scarnecchia as a really good offensive line coach. But Isaiah Wynn's been looking very, very good at practice, and I think he'll actually be an upgrade. We're really excited for him around here. Isaiah Wynn, very good.
Well, I mean, he was solid at Georgia. I live in Georgia. I got to watch him play every weekend. That's all the time here. And he would pancake guys with a force. I mean, this guy would literally one hand like Alabama defensive lineman, and I'm like, really? He went to the Patriots, and unfortunately, he handled injury, and I mean, that's just how it goes sometimes. But I mean, he's with, like you said, one of the best offensive lines coach in New England, and I mean, he took the time to heal. So I have no doubt he should be back in form. So there's a name that was brought up recently when we talk about wide receivers. It's Josh Gordon. We all know he has the physical tools. My thing is, do you think New England and Bill can get him back mentally to what he was in Cleveland?
Oh, man. I'm so excited for Josh Gordon. You guys have no idea. Josh Gordon is a gigantic name in New England right now. We love Josh Gordon. It's amazing having Josh Gordon in our lives. He's the best. I think he's gonna have more of a camp with Brady. Last year he was just kind of thrown in there, and he picked up the playbook in a week. He has an amazing brain, actually, really smart guy. Just picked up the Patriots playbook and took off running with it. Was out of shape and was so good that they had to just keep him on the field, kind of. And then he, of course, gets suspended, walks away. But I think if Josh Gordon is in the shape I think he is, and I hear he's in really good shape, I don't know if he'll have 1,600 yards, but Brady loves forcing it to Josh Gordon. And when Brady has one of those guys on the field, like Gronk, Josh Gordon, the really big guys, he loves giving them the ball. He loves looking their way. So I think Josh Gordon, at least if Josh Gordon plays 16 games, he's going to have 1,200 yards.
You think 1,200 with all the weapons he's got?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Brady loves Josh Gordon.
Ooh, I think we'll have to hold you to that.
If he plays 16, I feel pretty comfortable. He'll have 1,200 yards. Pretty comfortable.
Well, you know what? I mentioned Georgia Bulldogs earlier, and I have to bring this up. I love Sonny Michel. The guy, he's like a smooth hammer is what I call him, because when you watch him run in between the tackles, it's like he knows how to get.
I'm not really the biggest fan of the ground and pound, score 13 points in the Super Bowl offense, but I like the play action offense they have going to Stoney, but I think he's gonna be splitting carries with Damian Harris, the rookie, James White.
Yep.
Stoney he'll probably still rush for 1,000 yards, I would say, though. Probably.
I hope so. I got it for fantasy.
The offensive line is still really good, and if he gets the carries, it's gonna be good. But the Damian Harris, the kid they drafted this year in the 3rd round, is looking pretty good. I'm not sure how it's going to play out. If Stoney's going to stay healthy. We always worry about Stoney's knees. He kind of had a little procedure this offseason. So we'll see about that. I feel if you have him in fantasy, I feel bad because there's no way I'm trusting Stoney to show week to week.
I mean, I didn't use him as a high pick. That's the thing. I have him more of like a flex. So, I mean, he's not what I mean stable running backs, but, I mean, I'm hoping he still produces even as that, because when I watched New England use him last year, I mean, he was just plowing over guys, and I'm hoping they use him the same thing. I just don't hope they don't use him later in the season like that, because of the fact that the fantasy league is going to miss out on it, being the tournament finals are going to be for fantasy are going to be in like week 13, week 14. So yeah, if y'all start using the shell later in the season, I'll miss out on it. So. Well,
the Patriots love using those backs at the end of the year. That's what they do in December. They just run their way. They run their way to 2 wins in December and just coast their way through.
Do you think that Rex Burkhead gets cut this year or no?
I think he could. Bolden's back. Bolden's been looking good in practice. It's going to be hard for them to carry Stoney, Harris, Burkhead.
That's 5 backs,
Bolden, Devlin, and then James Devlin, the fullback.
Yep.
It's a lot of backs. I think someone's going to have to be the odd man out. For me, I'd rather it be Bolden, but Bolden's been looking good, so maybe Burkhead's on the out. I really don't know. I think with the lack of tight ends, they might just keep one tight end, so that might give them room to keep all those backs. I think that's what they might actually do, but I'm not real sure. But Burkhead, yeah, he's kind of on the edge right now.
Well, you just mentioned tight end. I mean, what have you seen in Nate Salbert that they picked up from Atlanta? I've only seen him play a couple times, and it's kind of hard to judge. Like, is he more of a blocking tight end or a receiving tight end?
I saw him walk out in the field. I haven't really seen him play much at all.
Okay,
played much.
so he's basically
hasn't practiced much. They still have Matt Lacoste, who they're hoping to come back from injury. And what the Patriots kind of do is they kind of use their tight end like Dwayne Allen when Gronk's not in. They just use him. They motion them over and to get the free rusher, the free pass rush guy, and then they kind of use the rest of the wide receivers. So I think that's what they're kind of going to do.